Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very warm welcome to this premiere. The first World Diversity Leadership Summit held in Vienna, Austria.
We have about 70 high-ranking diversity thought leaders as speakers.
We will be looking at new and innovative ways in dealing with different communities.
We have a good combination of business, policy-making bodies and other stakeholders.
Diversity may represent a stimulus for creativity, and in turn, it's the key factor to innovation and competitiveness in a global market.
We are very happy that we have over 90 companies participating at this first conference.
With our active participation in this summit, we want to underline not only the relevance of the topic diversity for OMV, but we want also to send a clear signal within the company, but also to the outside world, regarding the importance of equality of opportunity, diversity, and individual freedom of action for us as a company.
The great thing about the diversity agenda is that it unlocks a great deal of engagement from all our people.
The Vienna Chamber of Commerce Industry is a very strong voice for Vienna's enterprises, and it has a very long tradition, and it has a long tradition in diversity. We are convinced that diversity has a positive influence in many levels. Diversity has a positive influence on the degree of innovation, on the level of motivation among employees, and last but not least, on the capacity to compete in the local and the global economy. We have a great tradition to include all sorts of firms coming from one person to multinationals.
When we talk about diversity inclusion, and we want to look at metrics, diversity is a lot easier to measure, right? You count the number of ethnic minorities and count the number of women, you calculate percentages, and boom, you've got your diversity statistics. Inclusion is a little bit more difficult to get a finger on because it's a little more, what do you say, intangible, right? You can't see inclusion with the naked eye. Organizational connectivity allows you to see inclusion. Okay, so what is organizational connectivity? Well, it's a way at looking at the underlying informal networks within a group of people. And that could be in the context of an organization or something a lot less formal.
When we think about diversity at parks and resorts, the one word that sticks to us closely is inclusion, because it really is the foundation for, I think, everything that we do. Diversity for us is about bringing variety together. It's about different races, different ages, different nationalities, different physical abilities, different life experiences. We call it the DNA of diversity.
There are those who do not like the term diversity at all. And then there are those who get what diversity means. And I will state it very clearly. This is not an imposition or a burden on society. This is a reality.
I'm very proud to say we have a very high involvement of the diplomatics.
The gathering of leaders today have committed to a belief that this is a competitive advantage for our societies.
Diversity is crucial. And when I say diversity, I mean diversity in its widest sense. Age, gender, culture, race, sexual preference, religion. In any possible way, diversity is critical to achieve success. In a productive, modern economy, we cannot afford to waste the talents of any individual.
Diversity in the end is about identity. It's about who we are and who others think we are and how we are received, whether in a nation or a corporation. It's not just about interpersonal, but it's about the policies we have in our organizations. It's about the benefits that we design. It's about how we advance people, the assumptions that we make about what people want, desire, and all that.
Our differences are so absolutely profound. They're not just about shape of eyes and face and look and body. but characteristics and attitudes and thoughts and feelings and ambitions and dreams and hopes and fears and everything else that drives us. Faiths and ideologies, sexual desires and hurts. Whatever it is, difference is ingrained. So I think that part of the process of transformation that maybe we need to think about is that actually the characteristics of Diversity 2020 should be more about competence and character than differentiation.
I think what diversity means for me is getting the best out of a diverse population. And when I say population, I mean the population of a country, I mean the population of an organization. I think it means getting the very best, exploiting, if you like, maximizing the talents and skills of as wide a range of people as you can.
We are convinced that the creative potential for change lies in particular in the diversity of experience and competence. Diversity competence, in our understanding, means acknowledging that diversity is normal in every society and that it is an indispensable, essential, and precious part of our life. And diversity is the tool to realize human rights and peace in the world.
We describe what we do as a management function that operates as a best-in-class internal and external diversity solutions provider designed to drive revenue growth and increase market share. Does that surprise you a little bit?
The story I have to say is something on these diversity charters, which were mentioned several times on the panels here and also in the presentations. And I think it's worth to look a little bit more closer to what are these diversity charters about and what is the sense, and also learning from the history of that charter for the next 10 years, probably up to 2020, to see how that pay off. I thought about back 10 to 15 years how diversity was in that day, so prior to the diversity charters, and it was seen as the US approach, so nobody believed, and this is needed here. That was something what we got feedback from especially from the very much technical-driven companies, that they say, oh yes, this is a quote, so this is a new issue, they have these women and these people of color, but we don't have it here. So taking the different picture, we thought the diversity charter would be something to have a common approach.
Latest innovation is what we call the propelling potential principle. For the German-speaking among you, it's Potentialprinzip. And it's a model that integrates the different paradigms of diversity, inclusion, dignity and respect at work, non-discrimination, and also the leverage of diversity into one model that can also be applicable then in change management and also in executive development, so just to give you a flavor.
So the question is, what will happen in the future? And nothing is easier to predict than the future in demographic terms, because most things that will happen in the future are already somehow in the making today, although we don't know it. But the retired people of the year 2060 are already all alive, have a name and address. You could already send a letter to them and ask them to accept pensions in the future. So there's, or the kids going to school in 2020, most of them are already born. So they unlike business cycles or unlike the future of the financial markets, demographic future is much easier to predict than other areas. And this is an advantage here because we can understand what is going to happen. And I just paint you a brief picture of what's most likely to happen. In 40 years from now, the average age in Europe will be around 50. So there will be some, I don't know, 220, 230 million people older than 50 and 230 million people younger than 50. We have no clue how society that will be on average 50 years of age will function.
76% of business executives surveyed said that foreign workers have a positive impact on the economy. 71% said that foreign workers provide competitive advantages. 79% said they would hire foreign workers to meet specific staffing needs. So there were skills that they had that they did not find internally and they were looking for it. And 81% said that these foreign workers enhance the skills of the entire workforce. And I think it's a worthwhile point of view to include as we talk about diversity and as we're looking at policies for the governments in terms of facilitating this diverse workforce that is coming in. It's also always useful to take into account the needs of the business. It's not all about competitive advantage and the lower cost, but it's really about specific skills and how it's not just helping the company in a particular function, but really enhancing the skills of the entire workforce.
Diversity is the art of thinking independently together.
This is a journey of thought leadership. This is a journey that will take us to areas that we have not gone to before.
I hope you get inspired. I hope you go from here with lots of new ideas and lots of new strategies to continue the diversity journey. Thank you so much.
There's going to be another summit like this next year.
Absolutely.
Are you going to be around?
Heck yes. Yes, of course. No, I love it. This has been a fantastic success, and you couldn't keep me away from next year's event.